everybody. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, but today I am actually talking with Tom Neary. Now, Tom is the owner of Dad's Donut House in Savannah, Georgia, known by some as Donut Dad, and father of 4. So, Tom, welcome. Welcome to your Take the Doughnut interview.
Yeah, thank you. So glad to be here. I think it's really sweet what you guys are doing.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, first of all, let's start with a very simple question. We have more to cover today, but let's start first with what your favorite donut is. What is your favorite donut?
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite donut is it's two. There's 2 donuts. So the one that we don't make is a peanut butter filled donut with chocolate on top. Absolutely amazing donut. And then the one that we do make is the strawberry lemonade. That is by far my favorite donut that we do.
Those sound amazing. I haven't had either type. And peanut butter filled, that sounds like a lot of donut.
It is. You do have to prepare both before and after. So
yeah, fantastic. That's where the training begins. You know, you got to be ready for it.
Absolutely.
Well, I shared a little bit about your bio up front, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about Tom Neary?
Yeah, so born and raised up in Buffalo, New York, and we moved here to Savannah in 2019, right before the whole world shut down. And yeah, we really moved here with a heart to use donuts to end fatherlessness. Donuts were a big part of our story, and helping me want to be a better husband and a better father. And so we thought, man, if we can help other people, help other dads and other families, we could really do a lot of good in this world and in this community. So yeah, it was probably about 13 years ago, maybe even 12, 13 years ago. Anyways, we started doing what we call daddy dates. And every week we would go to get donuts with my kids, and we would take a picture and just enjoy each other's company, and donuts. And really, it became this thing for me where we would take a picture every week, and I wanted my kids, when they get older, I wanted them to be able to say that that Dad was present with us every week, and to be able to look at the photos and have the memories of not just every once in a while, but all the time, every week. Dad was out there getting donuts with us. So
what a beautiful story. I mean, it's an intentional, thoughtful tradition that turned into a business endeavor. And I imagine that involves your family as well.
We are all in it.
Yeah. Well, we'll dig into that today, I'm sure. So let me set this up for everybody. This is a Take the Doughnut interview. For me, Take the Doughnut is an expression that means carpe diem, seize the day, seize the opportunity. And it started for me with a very strange situation that happened in college, where I left a donut on a table, and it became an object lesson for me and what it looks like to leave opportunity literally on a table. So I'm going to link the story here for those who aren't familiar, but this conversation is about exploring what opportunity looks like, what it's looked like for you, what that process has been like for you. And so with that in mind, let's just open with this. How are you with going after your goals? What's that process like for you?
Yeah, so going after the goal it's one of those things where I'm either all in, or the goal, I find a reason why the goal wasn't worthy. And in doing this shop, my wife and I kind of came to a point where we said, what do we want to do with the rest of our lives? Meaning, this better be a worthy enough goal, otherwise we're both going to quit, and we won't do it. And really, having a goal that matters is how I make sure that I succeed in it. And it motivates me when I think about fathers who didn't grow up with a dad who was present in their lives, who didn't like read the manual when their kid was born, which by the way, I'm still waiting for mine. They didn't have all those things, and we get to come alongside and help create those moments where fatherhood just comes alive for people. And beside, we make great donuts, so hanging out with people eating donuts is also awesome and a worthy goal. But we love the intentionality that we've been able to find in this big goal that we've set.
So you mentioned there this idea of being and staying motivated. And, when you think about, you mentioned also this idea of a goal feeling worthy to you and staying that way. So let's unpack that just a little bit more. What makes something feel worthy to you or make you feel like you should stay motivated? Is it the larger mission statement that you have here? Or when you think about other goals you've had, is it intuition? What is it that keeps you invested?
Yeah. I think for us, it's the opportunity to help other people. When I think about what it means to love somebody and to show that love, especially a parent to a child, I heard something a while ago that talked about how most kids, their parents, especially their dad, never told them that they loved them. And that to me is wild. Like, I love my kids and I want them to know it. And so getting into a place where we can encourage dads to tell their kids that they love them is huge. And for me, like, I have never felt a love greater than the love of God. And when I realized his love for me, it's like, man, yes, I want to love other people and I want to love my kids and I want them to know what it's like to have a father who loves them. And so, yeah, having a worthy goal is really, really big.
What bigger goal is there than that?
Right?
Like, you thought you'd start huge.
I don't know of one.
We're just going to tackle love today. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. This is awesome. So knowing that you're tackling such a big goal right now, and I don't know if there are other goals that you tackled in the past, do you ever find that there are challenges that you have with taking the donut? Maybe like a certain brand of challenges you continue to encounter over and over again?
Yep. So we had to wrestle with opposition. And I don't mean like, hey, these people can't do this. Like, it was more ourselves. It was more of, are we going to do the thing that we said we were going to do? And for me, it really came down to like, this idea of identifying, is something an obstacle or is it a roadblock? And because like, I don't know where we got off in the world, but like, things are hard and goal setting is hard and keeping goals is hard. And so for us, like in the process of opening our shop, like there was a lot of times where it was like, okay, is this thing that seems really hard, is it just an obstacle and we're just going to walk around it, we're going to go over it, we're going to plow through it, or is it a roadblock and it's like, no, like, we actually can't do what we had set out to do? And I think a lot of times people choose roadblocks when they're really just an obstacle, and it'll move if you just push it hard enough. And so, yeah, that was a big deal for us in our process of everything, because we didn't live in Savannah. We felt like we were supposed to be here in Savannah, and we also said, opening up a donut shop and doing what we're doing, like, it's going to be really hard. So like, let's leave the snowy weather and let's go where the sun is and where the banana trees are. and let's eliminate that, like that really hard, nasty, seasonal stuff. Let's get to where it's beautiful all the time. Not that it's not beautiful in Western New York, because it is, but it's a different kind of, it's a chilling cold up there.
I'm
It's a
originally from Long Island, New York, so I have a sense of it, but I think upstate is a little different. It's
heat
kind of the
of
buckets
snow
of snow
difference.
variety. Yeah.
Yes.
And also given the industry that you're in, I'm sure you have some really early mornings every day of your
Do.
life. So I think,
Yes.
weather doesn't necessarily help you stay
Yep.
consistent with that. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Before doing this, I was a youth pastor, and I worked with middle school and high school students and their parents. And yeah, I was into work by 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And then when we transitioned, I actually took a job with Starbucks so that I could learn the rhythms of coffee shops and donut shops, even though I know Starbucks doesn't do donuts. Um, but I did it because I wanted to get in that rhythm of how do I actually accomplish this stuff. And yeah, that meant 4 a.m. 4:30 in the morning we were opening, and yeah, that was some wild stuff. And I'm not the most morning person now, but I'm a lot better than I was when I started.
Oh my
So
goodness. I can't even, I love eating donuts. And
yes,
so I appreciate people like you who are making this happen for people like me. But the idea of that wake up time every day, just it wouldn't be a thing that I could do.
yeah,
But it's just one of the many challenges that you've taken on, and it seems that you're surmounting them. I mean,
yeah.
what would you say is the biggest donut you've taken? I mean, if you think across your whole life, I mean, it might be opening Dad's Donut House, but what jumps out to you?
Yeah, I would say this probably is the biggest one. I mean, it definitely has the biggest risk. Like I could have I could have stayed where I was. I could have found another job in a church. And really we felt like this. We felt like, let me rephrase that. When I married my wife, I met her, I said, if I don't marry her, I will regret not marrying her the rest of my life. And I got the same feelings when it came to the idea of what we're doing now with this shop. If we don't do this, I will regret it for the rest of my life, knowing that the opportunity was there. We have to take it.
It
So
sounds like you're driven by a powerful instinct.
sometimes, yes. Yep.
Yeah. Because this change was not just one thing, it's a lot of things. I mean, relocating your whole family and starting a business and in a new industry,
Yep.
that despite the work with Starbucks, there was probably a huge learning curve just for the industry itself. So you tackled quite a lot of things rolled into this change.
I tell my
It's
kids that
amazing.
I tell my kids that we are in the people business.
Yeah.
What we do is not donuts. Donuts are like the smallest part, but what we really do is we love people, we care about people, and we get to use donuts to do that. So
It's fantastic.
we think it's pretty sweet, and we never glaze over an opportunity for a pun. So
Uh-huh. Yeah. That was incredible. Okay.
yeah,
So we're not afraid to drop donut puns here today, folks. That's it.
no, we
So
fry them all day.
so what is coming up for you? Is there a donut that you want to take now? Is there any goal that you have in mind?
Yeah, so we're still there. We have a cottage business license, which allows us to make and sell them out of our home.
Mhm.
But we don't have a physical location yet. And so everything has been old school, hit the ground, knocking on doors, earning trust and building reputation from literally from the ground up. And so we had a food truck right before we got a food truck right before COVID, and then that all happened, and we thought that the renovation would take a month, and it's taken much more than that. Um, and so that is the next step, is to either find a kitchen so that we can have a physical location or a brick and mortar. But either way, having the truck and a physical shop is in the future, and those are the biggest things that we're that we have. Those are the biggest goals coming up.
Yeah,
And
those
yeah,
are huge steps.
working towards being able to accomplish that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's get to our sprinkle some encouragement section. So there may be people who are listening to this who are trying to take a donut of their own, whatever that may be, personal or professional.
Yeah.
As somebody who's been practiced at doing this, what advice would you give, or what encouragement would you give to those people?
Yeah. Something a friend of mine said a long time ago has been one of the biggest helps for me. They said, what has to be true for you to accomplish your goal? And start there. And so that means, a lot of times we have, hey, this is the big goal. Okay, but what's the foundational levels that have to be met before you can get there? And I guess the second part is be humble enough to take those steps. Because a lot of times if the glory is not there, if it's not like, oh man, instant fame or instant success, we're not going to do it. But there's a lot of lessons to be learned on the way to accomplish your big goal, and it's totally worth being humble enough to learn what you need to know so that you can accomplish what you want to do. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a great reminder that it isn't just the one big goal. I mean, part of your process was taking a job at Starbucks, and some people would have seen that as not connected,
Yeah,
like
I
an
was one of the
unrelated thing.
older people there. That too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I think that you wisely knew up front that you needed more industry experience, even if it was slightly tangential to donut shops themselves. And so I think there's probably a huge amount of learning that you got there, but a lot of people would feel like that wasn't driving them towards the ultimate goal because they just hadn't roadmapped it for themselves.
Yep. Yeah, be willing to be weird to do what nobody else is doing. Um, like that's and it really isn't weird. It's humbleness. It's being willing to serve coffee when you want to serve donuts. But you can learn I learned so much of systems and people and um, process, all that stuff. Rhythm again was the biggest thing that I learned. So
Yeah,
yeah.
with a lot less on the line than you would have had once you took on the overhead.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really smart process. I love it. Well, tell us where we can find you. Tell us, I'll make sure to add any links into the video that you share, but where can we
Yeah.
find Dad's Donut House or anything else you're doing?
Yeah. Dad's Donut House is on Instagram and Facebook. And we're a small donut shop that doesn't have a home. we're a donut house that doesn't have a house, and we're okay with that for now. But like I said, that's our goal. And yeah, we are on Instagram and Facebook. We love to post up videos and encouraging stuff that we see and hear, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's
Um,
great. Well, everybody be sure to check out all of the resources that Tom just shared. And if you liked hearing Tom's story, make sure to like and subscribe on this video, because we've got so many great interviews coming up with people sharing their experience of taking the donut. So Tom, thank you for taking some time here and just having this conversation and giving people ideas and inspiration about how to take the donut.
yeah, thank you so much for what you're doing.
No problem. Okay, everybody, you know what to do. Get inspiration, get donuts. Bye.